Hey there, it's Maggie and Murphy from Knitting in the Park. So I just wanted to pop on and do a quick video today. There's always kind of the internal debate when you fall in love with knitting as hard as we have, whether you can bring your current project, your WIP or work in progress, somewhere to like a party or an event. You know, we all love the hashtags, the if I sit I knit, or if I'm sitting I'm knitting. And there are definitely times and places where you can bring your knitting projects. Now, I have a couple of rules that I've had to institute for myself, kind of a litmus test, if you will, for determining when it's safe or acceptable to bring your knitting. And there's two questions I ask myself for this litmus test. The first is, what kind of event is it? And who will be there? The reason I ask myself what kind of event is it is there are certain types of events, reunions, graduation parties, religious celebrations, those kinds of things that you're generally going to be mixing with people that you haven't seen in a while, and you're expected to get up and mingle, where you're not just gonna be plopping yourself down into one spot and kind of enjoying everything that's going on. So that is a really good question to ask yourself when determining whether you can bring your knitting or not. The second question I ask myself is who's going to be there. So there are certain people in your life, generally those closest to you, that know your acumen for knitting and know that you can carry on a conversation depending on what pattern you're knitting. So if it's a hat or something that you're, you know, like this is my just capelet, if you're working on like the bodice of this, you know it's just simple repetition and you're just kind of flicking stitches or throwing them, go ahead. You can carry on a conversation. But there are some people who may not be as close to you, who don't see you as often, see you knitting and your ability to carry on a conversation there. They might get offended and think that you're just gonna sit and ignore everybody. You have to understand when you start and progress down this knitting path that it's something that other people don't know how to do. It's very foreign to them. I mean, we've got all kinds of jokes now about the things that people say to us when we're knitting in public, or things that family and friends say to us. Oh, there's a pupper stretch. So there's a perception there that they don't get, or a misunderstanding that they innocently have. So 2 questions to ask yourself whether it's safe to bring your knitting. What kind of event is it, or what's the expectation of you, and who will be there? So let's say if it's a small gathering, you're watching Game of Thrones, you're all gonna be in a dark room anyway, maybe you can get away with sneaking a light in and sitting there and knitting. Or maybe it's a book review or something like that, a book club. Maybe it's just a small get-together, family and friends, and they all know your passion for knitting and that you can carry on a conversation and be an active participant. By all means, go ahead, bring it. But if you're gonna see some extended family, or like your parents' friends, and be expected to kind of work the room a little bit, it might not be a good place to bring your knitting. The more you see those people, the more they'll understand, but in that situation, like I said, sometimes there's a misunderstanding, misperception, and it can lead to a little bit of, I don't know, some ugly feelings. So I hope that helps. I'd love for you to tell me in the comments of this video, where do you bring your knitting? Are there questions that I don't ask myself that you ask to determine whether it's safe or not? Have you had one of those experiences where somebody just doesn't get it? Like, yeah, drop me a comment. Let me know, tell me a story, tell me I'm wrong. Just be nice. I've had somebody recently troll some of my video with some comments. So let's uplift each other and support each other and make this community an even more beautiful place where we can grow and share and learn together. Thanks so much, guys. I'm Maggie from Knitting in the Park. Murphy peaced out and is taking a nap. Please, please, please give this video a like as you comment on it, and always please give me a subscribe so that we can chat some more and get to know each other better and share our love for knitting with each other. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.